Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Brick Screen Bros podcast. That was painful for me to say. We got Chaos over there at the top. He's flexing. Why are you throwing kisses at me? We got Ash on the other side. Say hello, Ash. And we got me, Naps.
Hello.
That's Ash. And we got me, Naps. And today we're going to be talking about the movie that we just saw, which is the fourth Matrix movie, which is Resurrections. Okay, so I wanted to watch this movie because I haven't seen it before, and it's one of those movies that it kind of slipped by me. And I watched the first trilogy, and I liked it enough, and I always wanted to see this one, but like it just slipped past me. So I wanted to take the opportunity to watch it, and so did Ash. Ash never saw it before either, right?
Yes, sir. I never did.
Chaos did.
Yes, sir. He watched it in the theater. He paid for it, bro.
You paid for this.
I paid for it twice, I guess.
So I don't particularly remember the first scene in this movie, honestly. What was the first scene in this movie?
The new Morpheus dude and the blue hair lady. She was running around.
True.
Fighting people.
So first thing I noticed was the representation. Like I always say, representation matters.
Bro, we're talking about the beginning of the movie. They haven't shown that many characters yet.
Oh yeah,
the first thing complaining about too much diversity.
The first thing we noticed the diversity in the agents, because before all the agents were these very handsome Hugo Weaving lookalike people, but now the agents in this new movie, most of them were Hugo Weaving. Well, not Hugo Weaving lookalikes, but they were Caucasian men. But then we see in this pulling up in a slick vehicle an African American, and he's looking good in his shades. Yeah, and that was the first real hit of diversity in the Matrix that I saw.
What do you mean, dude? Morpheus is black. There's always been diversity in the last movie, and even in the first trilogy.
But like that is the main
black.
That's the main crew, though. But not, what about the randoms?
Are you talking about the agents? That's not. It's a shift to the agents.
Literally, the agents. There is so much diversity they added into this. We haven't even gotten to the other characters yet.
No, I wouldn't say that much diversity. Okay, they added a black guy to meet like a diversity quota, but they haven't added a Latino guy or like an Indian guy.
They did.
I didn't see any of those.
He got shot earlier.
Mm-hmm. His screen time was so less that other Hispanics didn't even get a chance to look at them.
Right. So in this first scene,
they really showed. You can see where the movie's going based off that.
Yeah, bro. They hired Indians too. I was surprised.
The Queen.
Yeah. So in this first scene, like I said, the agents arrive and we were presented with this new character, which is this blue-haired Asian girl, which I think she has short hair to be like
bro, she's not Asian
of Trinity.
Bro, she's not Asian.
She's clearly not Asian. What are you talking about, man?
What are you talking about? She's not Asian.
Yeah,
my eyes failing me. What? The blue-haired girl is not Asian.
Bro.
Why are you mentioning eyes? First of all,
I'm talking about the blue-haired girl.
Yeah,
She's not Asian.
She's not Asian, bro.
What is she then?
She's like you, man.
She's half.
Well, that counts somewhat like an Asian.
Look. Did we have a black president? No.
Okay. So yeah, we're presented with this character. It's her, and she's talking to, I guess, the main guy in her ship, and they're watching the recreation of the Trinity scene when she's been captured, or she's using herself as bait, I guess, to the agents. They're recreating that scene like a. It reminded me of, I don't know, you guys probably haven't played this game, Metal Gear, but
yeah, we played it.
Oh yeah, sure. Tell me the main guy in Metal Gear.
Look, I just played the game. I didn't know names. I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you Master Chief's name. Okay.
Well, no. The point of the point of that game is that you had this warrior character, soldier character, Snake, and he was a legendary like mercenary or whatever, right? Um, so what they did is that whatever mission that he did in real life, they recreated it virtually to train their cadets, for that. So I think this like program that they were running was like a simulation of that event, and I think it was for the purpose of training the agents, right? Or I don't know exactly what the purpose was.
It was never specified, but we can assume so.
Yeah, but the point is that this black character.
At the same time, remember, well, obviously it's further on in the movie, but they said, NPH said they put the dreams of stuff that actually happened to send energy out into the symbiotes and all that stuff. So they could have just been accessing that. But it was never specified exactly what that was.
Yeah, and at one point, the black guy, he started to become self-aware.
He has a name.
Yeah, we'll get to that. He still doesn't have a name. He's just still like an agent. He becomes like self-aware, and he has a little talk with the not Asian girl, I guess. And they go into.
She's a druggie, pretty much, and she's like, "I got a red pill, I got a blue pill. Spoiler: it doesn't matter which pill. You don't gotta take a pill. It's too late."
Yeah.
And then
Both
he's got
just
at that
in different colors. That's all.
Yeah.
They are both a lie.
And at that point, he's gone. Dude is drugged up, like acid. He's seeing things. He's tripping out. He goes back to his agent friends, and they're like, "We never should have hired you. Like, silly monkey. Like,
Bro,
you never
they
should have
called
hired
him
you."
Agent Snake. They called him Agent Snake.
That's what NPH said. Silly monkey. I was quoting it. That's his quote. Was it not his quote?
It wasn't.
He literally said that.
He said that way later on, and it wasn't referring to that black agent.
That is true.
I don't know what.
That is true.
Look.
It was the.
Look. This was
Neil
a long
Patrick
movie. Okay?
Harrison saying that to Keanu Reeves way later after
Wait,
that.
who is more? Morpheus is just as important as Keanu, so I put them at the same level. So I kind of sorry. Look, that's besides the point. Okay, he was acting crazy. The agents were like, "What's going on?" And then out come blue-haired girl, and she takes him, and they're running away.
No, the main point you take away from that scene is that this agent has kind of just woken up, and it turns out that he knows he's Morpheus for some reason.
Well, let's just be honest here. I think the major issue with this movie, that's not Morpheus.
No, it's not him. Obviously,
not even like they said. What was it? The modes. Like, this is a different mode of Morpheus. Module. Yeah, like that. I don't know what happened in that module, but this ain't Morpheus. I'm not even a fan of the original Matrix trilogy. This ain't Morpheus. Come on.
I would say though, when I first saw the first Matrix movie, I saw it in the theaters, and it did blow my mind because
you can't compare 2000 movies to now. There's technology back then. What they did with what they had, phenomenal.
Oh no, and I was way younger, and I got way more into it.
I wouldn't say that much younger. You're like
come on, dude. I'm not that old. All right. I think I was like Jesus Christ. I don't know. I had to be in my early 20s.
You weren't that young. I was like 7. Okay, calm down.
I'm not even sure, dude. I could have been 16. When was it?
What was it?
I don't even want to look at the thing.
Was this 2000?
I don't know. When the original Matrix came out, I think it's 99. Something like that, right?
I was single digits. I was born in 93, so I was 5 or 6.
I think I was 6. No.
You were a grown man, okay? You had a full-time job.
I was like 17 or something like that. The point is, it completely blew my mind. The first one. Because at that point, it felt like it was going to be a single movie. It wasn't going to be a trilogy. And then they started pumping out the other two, and they were not as good. But they weren't bad either.
The last one was fun. The second one, not for me. I agree. For me, it's number 1, 3, 2. And then Resurrection.
Yeah, this is the last one for sure. But yeah, after that, they what happens after that? The
two of them escape and they go into whatever their world is, and you see all their people and crew, and then they start talking about Neo and was it Morpheus? Oh, they go into that secret room, and that's where she saw the Neo thing. And then the two of them escape, and then they start talking about how Neo's real, and then we go to see
Right.
what
How
happened
Neo's
to
still
Thomas
alive. How Neo's
Anderson.
still alive, and they need to find them. Yeah, and that's what it leads to back to Neo in the real world, or
So
not the real world.
Reno, so it's a simulation. It's
No,
all
you
a
can never
simulation.
quite tell which is the run. I don't know. I guess they're both the real world, and they're
Huh?
both the fake world. There's really no distinction between the two of
Look,
them, honestly.
reality is just all that you make it. Okay, he's schizophrenic. We don't know what part of his schizophrenia is real or fake.
Yeah, dude, that surprised me. It turned out that the whole first trilogy was just a game that he made.
Oh no, that was what they said.
Yeah, I know this.
They're
That's the
lying to
cover
him.
up that supposedly the Matrix gave him.
Yeah.
Uh,
So in this world, he is a video game developer, and this is 20 years in the future. And the Matrix, all three of them were a video game, and he developed them. And he's just sitting in his office, and this is his
and
new
it's
life.
in it, and the language in his computer is like Japanese, but nobody's Japanese in the office.
It was code.
So
I didn't
I
look that closely, but I thought it was just code.
no, it's Japanese code. It's not like the binary numbers, I guess.
Oh, the Japanese code? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought he was in Japan. It kind of gave me that impression. And then they show
Well,
his figurines.
well, he
I'm like,
loves
okay, this
Japan.
guy's a weeb now. Or he was always a weeb, and he just like made himself cool to be like the Neo character, you know?
He was never cool. He's a great guy. Yeah, but like he's living a normal life. He's single, has no friends, no family, no girlfriend, no wife, no kids, no dog. He's just a game
Yeah, he's
developer
just a
with no
straight up
life.
loser. He's just a straight up insult loser, honestly.
And they show the people he works with. There is a guy, it's the big guy who first walks into the room. He's like his joking buddy, his work friend. He's trying to get him to experience life more. They go out to a coffee place, whatever, and he sees a girl, I guess, who they never really specify, but we're assuming he saw her 20 years ago before he made the game, based Trinity off of her. Her name is Tiffany. And pretty much the guy knows that he likes her, so he's trying to get her to trying to hook them up. But she comes in there with her kids, and pretty much Neo's talking to her, and he does a little talking, and she starts flirting back. And the kids are like, "You trying to F my mom, bro?" And he's like, "No, no, no, I'd never." And then her husband
No,
walks in.
I don't think he ever denied it. Did he ever deny it?
Oh,
I think he just didn't say anything.
he kind of laughed, I guess. Like, you know I am. And then the husband walks in and he takes the food out of her hand. He eats it and he's like, "Hey Tiffany, how you doing, dear? Hey man, trying to F my wife? Nice to meet you." And then they pretty much go off and he goes back to his workplace where we finally meet the the boss, who is pretty much, as they tried to make him Mr. Smith too. He's like quoting Mr. Smith, Agent
Yeah,
Smith.
he's supposed to be the guy in real life that he based the Agent Smith character on.
Well, I don't see. I also don't know that.
No, they actually say that. Well, they they didn't flat out say it, but actually he does say it in a way because he notices how like their like interactions
But here's
are
the
the
thing:
same.
the dude is over 30 years younger than Keanu at this part. Like this dude was pretty young. He's in his mid-20s. Keanu was in his mid-50s then.
That guy wasn't in his 20s.
This-
That
this-
guy was easily at his 30s or 40s.
That means he was a baby when the game was made. So what did he do to make a game based off of this? He saw this kid while he was stalking Tiffany.
Bro, that's why Keanu Loki didn't trust that reality. He's like, something doesn't add up here.
So the boss is just like quoting the dude, and it's like, okay, we're remaking the game. So you see the new team, the crew member, the people that are gonna remake the game, and it's like an endless cycle of pretty much anyone that has a job. You go to work, you go home, you take your pills to go to sleep, medicate. It's a day in process. Same thing every day. Workout, work, sleep, workout, work, sleep, eat, workout, work, sleep, eat. And he keep taking a blue pill And
That
was it
yeah, that
red pill is escape the reality, blue pill stay in there, right? So it's a process of showing that he's just stuck in this
no, that whole
thing,
montage is pretty long, and it sort of like reveals like his day-to-day life as working as a programmer,
which
and
is unnecessary. We don't give a fuck.
I like that.
Yeah,
I actually like
fudge.
No,
that whole
the thing was
montage.
that confusion at that point, like because the him doing the programming thing was like a nice setup to even make viewers think like, is it the real world? Like these three
Come on,
movies
who
were
thought
they
that?
all time
Who
waste?
thought? Who actually thought that? That saw the three. Like we've all seen the original three Matrix movies, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so who would actually think that this is the real world?
I mean, the movie presents it as such. You know what I mean? That's just what you're
Who,
supposed to believe.
who wrote this movie first of all?
I don't
I'm not
know.
really.
It was
You-
I'm not
definitely
really
not me. And they definitely didn't even care about consistencies or anything. They were like, we'll just make a new movie that will refer some of the old stuff, but we'll just do our own thing.
Yeah, that whole first part felt very meta and
Oh.
very like
So
but
Lana Wachowski is the person who co-wrote and directed this movie.
So co-wrote with who?
I don't know.
Then find out.
Okay. I'll have to Google who co-wrote.
Keanu Reeves.
That's what I'd assume because like I've seen his stuff before. This was such a Keanu Reeves movie. I don't know. Yo, I just saw an article that David Mitchell, Neo fires no guns in Matrix Resurrection.
well, yeah, but that whole montage at the beginning where he's at work shows how it's kind of portraying how mentally unstable he is, and it kind of
Oh,
paints him as
he's numbed. He's numbed. I wouldn't say
yeah, yeah,
unstable. He even have his therapist that we NPH. Neil Patrick Harris was his therapist,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
the cat Deja Vu. But they give him pills to sedate him. He's numbed to reality. He's numbed to everything. Like it's just he's stuck in a cycle, which is like their way of looking at the normal day to day life. Like you're just kind of stuck and not
No,
doing the same thing. You could be doing something greater.
yeah, but they with the psychologist playing a part into it, they kind of want to paint him as this guy that was this game programmer who got way into his game, like a little bit too into it,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he thought it was his reality, right? And then he's clearly like mentally unstable, so he needs to take medicine and all that. And he's kind of playing into that part. He's not doubting that reality that much. I guess he is because every time he has a vision, he kind of believes it, but at the same time, he's like, "This is not real. This is not real."
And it's when
Uh,
he's sleeping. Like he talks about his dreams, and NPH does a great job of being like, "Bro, you're crazy, but I'm here for you. I'm the only person you can trust. Take these pills."
it's interesting because he's being pulled between two realities, and that's kind of interesting. So I did like that whole beginning part, but then
And then we get to the crew of the blue haired lady and all her we'll call them ethnic friends.
the
Right.
super ethnic friends, yeah.
Like literally, I don't even mean to be like that, but like
Well, don't
the first
worry.
thing I know that
I'm gonna cut all this out. I'm not gonna leave this racism.
it's not racism. Look, the first
Oh,
time
yes,
the
we've
first
been
time
racist.
we
It's diversity.
Since we started.
It's
the first time
2023. We have
yeah, the
ethnic
first time we
friends.
see the
We don't
crew,
have just friends.
the first time that we see their crew, we got the half Asian lady, we got Black Morpheus, we got Black Morpheus 2, we got Woman Morpheus, and we got a gay man, and we got a straight white cis female. That's a pretty diverse crew.
No Indians in it or Latinos,
Oh,
so
well,
whatever.
So on the actual crew in the game, or in his alternate world where he's a game developer, there is an Indian man, an Indian woman,
The
who's
Indian
also
coffee shop lady.
Nick Jonas's wife,
Priyanka
Priyanka
Chopra.
Chopra. She did okay. Like it was nothing
Bro,
special.
her role was not even there. And the other guy was
There
Purab
was an
Kovali.
Asian woman. Asian woman. There was a black. There was two black guys on the crew.
Bro, why are we dwelling so much on the races? This is not a
Because
good
no,
look for
no,
No,
us.
no,
no, no, because
It's
in
not a good
because
look for us.
2023,
look,
all these
look.
movies want to point out how diverse they are. So they would.
I know, but that's a
But
given,
look,
and let's just
but look,
let's just take it
but look,
as that.
So,
look at the original Matrix. Like you said, in the actual people of the humans when they're not stuck in the Matrix,
there was
they had
the
a bunch.
Indian
They had a
doctor.
bunch of black people and white people.
Bro, there was this Indian doctor and the Indian kid.
Yeah,
Right, and then the Indian girl, little girl, she plays a big part in the movie.
Priyanka Chopra. But that's two races and two Indians.
Bro, why didn't they hire me, man? I could have been the developer. Why did they hire Purab?
We all know why. It would have been terrible.
You're a little bit too short. You wouldn't show up on camera because everybody's like normal height, and they will have to pan down.
Nah,
gotta
bro,
give
the
me
real
that.
answer is
They
because
get-
I don't look like traditional Indian.
They gotta give him a stepping stool. Well, yeah, but if you look at the original Matrix, this was predominantly two. You got your blacks, your whites, and a couple of these. This time they added so much diversity. They even added sexually different people. Added someone who's attracted to Keanu Reeves, not just like Morpheus attracted to him, but like sexually attracted to him.
No, Morpheus is not a. Morpheus is like a. Okay, the original Morpheus in the trilogy, he's a very serious guy. He's almost like a
Oh, yeah,
very.
we should mention this again. This is not Morpheus. Everything.
Oh no, this
changed.
guy is a totally different interpretation. The original Morpheus is like a very serious and very preachy kind of guy. He tries to turn everything into a sermon or like a lesson.
This one's a drunk. He's a drunk, and he dresses.
This one is like, hey, he's like, hey, Neo, I'm Morpheus. What's up, bro? Yeah, we gotta get you back into the Matrix, man.
like
that's
he was like, I was in the shower. I saw something in the mirror. It looked just like him. Like, come on now, Morpheus ain't never saying that.
Yeah, so at this point in the movie, they're trying to get him to go into the real world, I guess.
Yeah,
and get him out of the Matrix.
Somebody calls like a shooting threat or something to their game developing place. Everyone's running out, and then he gets a text message on his phone. So this is kind of similar to the first movie.
Yeah,
He's
this
like,
movie
yeah.
does that. It tries to recreate a bunch of the iconic scenes from the previous movies.
As we know why, because it does not live up to anything. But so go to the door next to the cop if you want to see the truth. What truth? Well, go to the door. I'll tell you. He goes in, and then Morpheus comes out the mirror, and he's telling him everything. And then a bunch of police come in, and look, like I was saying while we were watching this, I'm not sure who has worse aim, the agents in the Matrix or stormtroopers, because these agents didn't hit ish. Okay.
Yeah, you know, as I was watching this, the original trilogy does this too. It's not like something they. But the thing is, they have a lot of.
But the best thing about the agents in the original trilogy was like they would also organized and like synchronized with each other. And
That's true.
And
But
then
in
their
the-
face would suddenly turn into Agent
But in-
Smiths, and that was so freaking cool, man. At that time,
But
just watching
NPH
those people turn into Agent Smiths.
like the one thing about this movie, they really tried to cover their bases with everything. Because NPH even said the agents were so hard to actually create and organize, so it's so much easier just to make bots or whatever, right?
No, the thing
Yeah.
was that they
Yeah.
realized that they could not keep up with the storyline and the budget, so they were like, "Hey, why not
No.
we just have excuses lined up and be like, it's too
It's
much
because
work.
the-
It's too
the guy
much
they
costly. It's too
The
hard."
guy, it's because the guy they chose to replace Hugo Weavings can't act the same. He doesn't have the voice to be appearing as
Bro,
everyone.
he's like a,
Hello,
he-
I
no,
am
no.
Agent Smith,
No.
Mr. Anderson.
No, that's not
How
what
are you?
he was like a you know, like you went to a church and you were talking to a priest. My son had
I
a
don't
birthday.
talk to priests.
So,
That's
bro,
creepy.
he was more of a
I'm
therapist.
sorry. Ash, did that happen to you? Wait, did he touch you in a bad place?
No.
Did your priest touch you, bro?
Rock, delete this part out.
You
Yeah,
can
of course,
say
this is
that.
not good.
Bro, see, today I didn't swear anything, and you guys are saying incriminating stuff.
Uh,
Don't worry, bro. I know how to turn around, bro. Don't worry. But yeah, the point is that Morpheus shows up in a bathroom. He's like, bro, we gotta get you into the Matrix. Then a little bit after that, the Asian girl shows up to him. He's like, okay, I'm not crazy. These characters from my video game are actually real characters. Um,
and we're seeing them. They're fighting off. I forget how they escaped. I really.
oh, they meet up in a theater and they keep showing like scenes of the old movies.
So one of the
Uh,
worst things, they show Morpheus on the screen, and then they show this new guy. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, I know. It's such a contrast difference because the first Morpheus, like I said, was very serious. He was very like preachy. He was very like he made to make like he made it like very official. I don't know, but this Morpheus, he's like he doesn't care that much. And the other one of the things that I noticed between this whole thing is like while they're trying to transition him to the real world, it just goes on and on forever and stupid scenes and stupid shooting scenes that don't really add up to much. They could have just like I don't know, like edited to like, dude, okay, now you're in the Matrix, all right. But no, they kind of like they padded it with some shooting scenes that were very unnecessary because, like you said, nobody's hitting each other with the bullets. You know, it's just a bunch of guys in a room. Because
Well,
this movie has that
and-
problem too. It has
and-
too many extras, too many
and-
extras in the scenes, bro.
And very few times you actually see bullets. Like, I know you're saying the bullets go so fast, but come on. Every movie you watch, you can at least see bullets flying by. This one, you just see the light from the gun.
It's just like irrelevant because a bullet scene is not really gonna kill any important character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a padding.
Like
It's
the
like
only,
an action.
The only people getting hit are the agents because they're not even like relevant agents. They're just like regular bots. So like they're the
Yeah.
only ones getting hit.
And
And
all
then,
these
like
kind
you
of
said, they got a lot of people. It's cramped. Like there's a train scene where they after the theater they go into like a train, and it's full. Like you said, it's a small space. It's like Train to Busan or Bullet Train type thing.
Mhm.
Everyone out there turns into. They get their bot programming, whatever happens, and they're attacking them. They swarm them, and there's just too many people going on. Too many people attacking them. You can't see the action.
Yeah.
Like early on, you even said every fight scene you had rain.
Yeah, exactly. They added rain to every fight scene to make it look more epic.
Yeah.
And it worked a little bit. Listen, I want to talk about the good things that I did see during the action scenes. I did like the action at the beginning with the blue hair girl, how she was leaping up buildings and fighting. That was kind of cool. I also like the way that they traveled through the doors, like they could be sideways or on the floor, and they would end up like in a different place. That was kind of cool too. But aside, and then exactly it leads to that train scene, which is where I really noticed, like, bro, there's too many extras in this movie, and they're not coordinated. It's like when Ash said, like in the first movie, you would have like a mob of like agents, and it looked good. They were all like more synchronized, and they attacked properly. Granted, it was mainly CGI. That's why it was easier to organize them. In this
But-
one, there were actual people.
At the same time, they explained it. It's not a good
Yeah,
explanation.
they did
but
explain it. I
explained
agree. I
It's just
agree.
cheap. It was cheaper and less work.
Exactly.
That's why-
And that made the scenes just like this action-packed clutter scene of everybody fighting each other, a bunch of extras, and it's not.
Right.
It doesn't look cool.
Like even the last fight scene in the city towards the end, you got like 1 million people. You just like you can't even see their faces. You just see a bunch of people.
Yeah, just shadow the silhouette
they're
of
just
people
there.
being there because they.
But again, that's not the problem because, like Ash pointed out, in the first three movies they did that. They added a bunch of like clones or whatever,
But
and put
it's
it worked.
so it's different though. Like I said, the original 3, they didn't have the money to afford a crew that big. That's why they used CGI for most of those people, and it worked. But
It did
these days, today, we have the technology to create the same thing with CGI, but they went the money route. It probably would have been cheaper to use CGI.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's what I was.
instead of
thinking.
paying. I guess they don't have to pay all those people. Like, just be like, you're in a movie with Keanu, whatever. Just run at him. You don't gotta do anything. There's a difference. Like,
No, I don't think the problem was switching to humans. I think the problem was coordinating the whole
see,
thing.
you can't coordinate humans. How are you gonna do that? Have you not seen The Walking Dead?
Bro, have you not seen
They're not
people
even
dancing?
coordinated.
They coordinate well.
Bro, half of these people probably weren't even actors.
No, it's just like I said when I was watching this film. I honestly got the vibe that this is like the Matrix for Netflix because
Oh,
you
I
can
agree.
tell it's like a quality below. There's something in the. It's not like I said. It's not
No.
that.
I mean,
It feels
bro.
It feels that way.
Technically,
It feels.
it went straight to HBO Max. Like, it was released on HBO Max and theaters so that people can waste money as well.
It feels that way because this movie never should have been made.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, we didn't need it, this movie at all.
Like, there's something with Keanu Reeves. He's so selfish that he thinks everything needs 4 movies. 3 is
Bro, it's
fine.
not even Keanu Reeves. Why you keep saying he didn't even want
Bro, it's just
another
if
Matrix?
he's the one who look. No one was asking for a 4th Matrix, were they?
He was not the one. He didn't even
Then
ask.
why would he? Why did he accept the role?
Give me just 2 seconds.
What
Who's she? Hi. Yo, Ash Big Pimpin' over there.
Nah, bro. I accidentally clicked one ad.
No,
What kind of sites you on that have ads?
Bro, it's
Wait,
not
so
an
at
ad,
this-
it's
okay.
it's a
Let-
game.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the movie. So at this point, he gets sucked up into the mirror, and he goes into the real world, and they actually take him out of the pod. It was cool to see.
So after
was-
he goes through that small mirror in the train, he comes out in this pod, and he's this bald man. Well, not bald, shaved head,
Yeah,
and he's getting out, and you see his full fleshy body.
yeah,
You
and
see- You see
They
his
showed
giant dong.
they do a close up on it. I thought it was weird, but I'm like, okay, artistic choice.
And then one of the sentient flying bug type things comes up, and you're like, I don't like this thing. It doesn't look like the ones I grew up with. Back in my day,
Back in my days, they would show the penis longer. No.
they took him, and you see Trinity is in a pod next to him.
I did like watching that scene coming out of the pod because it was very reminiscent of the original ones. I think that's a very
The weirdest thing, his junk was covered and her boobs were covered. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why would they care about that? Like, what?
Bro, it's 2023. They have to care.
Bro, why do sentients care about this?
no, they wouldn't. And logically, they wouldn't.
Yo, bleep me out. My bad.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Logically, they wouldn't care about the nudity because they're robots. They're not attracted to those parts.
We all know Keanu's Magnum Dong. They should have just shown it. And Trinity, look, I know she's married, got kids. They're not real. They're in her mind, okay? Look, just show everything. We don't. This is what we want since the first movie.
New
Yeah.
Trinity. That's what you wanted. See Trinity's nipples. Jesus.
This is why we wanted a 4th movie. Okay? Nudity.
Yeah, if you look back like 20 years ago and you look at Chaos reviews of the first movie, I like this movie, but I was expecting to see Trinity's nipples, and they did not deliver.
Me as an 8-year-old, I really like this movie, but
technically they showed
I
it
need
in
more
Matrix.
nudity.
Bro, technically they showed it in Matrix too, didn't they?
I've never seen her boobs. Honestly, I don't remember seeing her boobs ever.
in Matrix 2, I think they showed it.
If it was like a side boob, and I didn't pay that much attention to it.
Or yeah.
No, because
But we did
because
see
in-
Keanu Reeves
Bro, in
great at.
Matrix 2, they had a sex scene where they showed it.
Oh yeah, bro, because in the old Matrix, once they hook up, they start doing it everywhere. In the elevator, in
Yeah.
a cave. They
Hey.
do it like everywhere they can.
Life is short, bro. That's what Matrix taught me. Life is short.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it motivated me. It motivated me to just ask anyone out. So I'll be just on the street asking people. Because life is too short.
After all that, they take him back to the ship. He meets the people. We see the diverse crew. They go, and Morpheus comes up, and he's like a what's it called? AI. He's like
Yeah,
an
he's like an
AI.
AI.
He's half AI, and he's also got a Magnum Dong AI. But they take him to their home, which is EO, hidden behind some rocks. And they're
And
like,
then they show the
they
worst character in the whole freaking movie. I
keep
was
my
so
wife's name out your mother mouth.
dude. I you guys said it when you guys said it was Jada. I didn't want to believe it was Jada. I was like, no, she's not in this.
Because
I went
at
full denial, bro.
this point, we already saw Hugo Weavings wasn't in the movie, and Morpheus got recast too. So pretty much, we're assuming they can't afford anybody at this
Is the
point.
Morpheus actor
But then,
alive?
yeah, I just don't know his name. But yeah, like
Lawrence Fishburne. I don't know the names of the guy. I know that the old one.
I know Hugo because he's in Cloud Atlas.
Hugo.
Killed it.
He was also
But
in Lord of the Rings, bro.
he's in everything.
Bro, that guy's
honestly.
awesome. That guy's
We all love Hugo. He's a
Mhm.
great villain. He's got the voice. Shout out to the guy who replaced him because he doesn't. But yeah, like I think we all assumed everybody would be recast, and then they pull up and it's like, this is our leader, and they show this little short black lady with long hair, and Ash and I were like, oh, look who it is, and you're like, who is it? I don't know who that is.
People have this idea that Matrix was just Keanu Reeves. It was not. It was Morpheus. It was Agent Smith.
Yeah, and Trinity. Like it was like 5 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 5 important people, and the rest are just
They could only
there.
afford 2 of them.
Yeah, they couldn't even get the Oracle died, so I guess.
Bro, and the worst part is like every time they show a general, the general is always gonna be opposed to like the idea of bringing the one back because they don't want to rely on that legend or mythology or whatever of it.
Except she actually knew him. So this is technically he's been in prison for 60 years. So this is 60 years in the future. So we can assume she was in her mid-20s during the first 3, maybe 30s, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So she's in her 80s now. She don't look a day over 70, honestly.
Who?
Bro, I did not like her. Jada, we're talking about Jada, the Jada character.
Bro, she looked 90. Like she looked prehistoric, bro. Her face
Oh, she's
was
supposed to
like
be
if it was a fossil instead of a face.
You know what she
Yeah,
was? You know what she was? She was a boring exposition character. That's why I hate her.
But they brought her. She was, but they brought her back because they needed to bring someone back who knew him.
They wanted to have like, bro, did this happen before pre-slap or post-slap? The
Pre.
movie. Pre-slap, right? Okay.
I feel like this was pre.
I just wanted to know this was pre-slap or post-slap.
It's like I said, Keanu's like a good guy. I've never heard anything bad about him, so I doubt he would have been like if he found out she was doing all that stuff with Will, whatever happened. Like I don't know if he would have if that would have been the person they brought back of all the people, because there are a lot of people that didn't go into the Matrix that they could have brought back. But I guess she's the youngest, so it makes technical sense. But pretty much she's like this great person. She gave them a fake sky. She's growing strawberries. Like they showed this old black lady who's hooking up with an AI and they're making fruit together. Like their world's very advanced, but she wants to
That's
keep
not. But you see, the whole thing is everything they exposed, right, and those scenes they could have like shortened it and saying like, yeah, okay, we grow our own vegetables now, and yeah, we created this artificial sky. And that could have been it. But they dragged it on for too long, and they're walking here and then she's like, grab me by the hand, young man. I'm going to tell you all about my boring strawberries. And then they go on a walk, and it's so stupid, dude. It's just padding for time. And
this movie was like, what, an hour or 2.5 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours, 27 minutes.
Like 2 hours was talking. Like slow talking. So, like maybe like a tenth of the talking was actually relevant to the story. That's the problem here.
Bro, we skipped over the tutorial fight scene that he has with
Oh yeah, man.
Well,
with
we haven't gotten there
Morpheus.
yet. That's after he goes to jail. So yeah, it's pretty much she doesn't want anyone. So she's like, the crew, you're in trouble now because you went
No,
and
no,
rescued
no. We
Leo.
already passed that
Then-
part, chaos. Actually, we
No,
skipped
no,
it.
because she's still walking him around, and then after she walks him around, she's like, "I can't have you doing anything, so you're gonna go into the cell." And then when she's in the cell, then Morpheus comes out like the gutter or whatever, because he looks out the window. We haven't gotten there yet, bro. I know.
No,
I saw this movie twice.
Twice.
It's
No,
extra
no,
attention.
no. We skipped the chaos. You're thinking it wrong. You're putting in the wrong sequence.
Bro, please tell me how, because after the strawberries, she walks him around. The crew's in trouble.
At that point,
She tells him, "I can't have you doing anything, so you're on lockdown." And then she has her like B crew, like the characters who will show up, but they're not important, but they'll be there in the Matrix. Come and take him to the Rapunzel Tower. And then the guy's like, "I looked up to you my whole life. I didn't even know you were real. Can you really fly?" And Neo's like, "Yeah, I can fly." He can't, but he can fly. So he goes into the Rapunzel Tower. He looks out the window, and then Morpheus comes out the drainage system. He's like, "They're gonna rescue you, but we got to get you ready." And then they go into the
No, bro, you're literally
Bro.
making up you're editing your whole movie. That's not how it happened.
It's
Here's
better
the-
than what we actually watched. Okay.
No, here's how it happened. After they rescue him for the pod, they take him back to the real world, and they kind of like go to the whole thing where he's like a newborn baby, and he's just like getting his senses back. That's when Morpheus actually tells him, "I know what you need." He takes him to that white room. He gives him the little thingy, and then they fight. So it's way before he even meet.
Well, Morpheus has a big thingy. First of all,
Yeah, Morpheus has a weird fashion sense. I would say that.
Bro, that
His shoes are a little bit
shit
loud.
that yellow coat he was wearing, he looked like someone from Wes Anderson movie, that like Grand Budapest Clown or some shit.
or like he got that Kill Bill fighting technique. He just
Yeah,
makes-
that's what I was gonna say, because in this tutorial fight that they have, they're kind of recreating again the first movie, and exactly it's kind of going to the same beats.
just worse.
Exactly. It's just somehow worse. Exactly. And the setting was cool. It was like like an arena. It looked like a virtual fighter arena, like round one fight in the middle of a lake.
Yeah, like, the technology they can actually do that this time, so it's cool. But too much
Yes.
technology takes away from.
No, the thing is the choreography in the fight, especially in the beginning, is very weak because they're like tapping each other with their punches. They're like
What was that one scene where like he like did like a back punch onto Neo, and you can actually see it not hit him at all.
Yeah, but as Neo gets more confident and he starts remembering, he gets a little bit more powerful. The fight gets a little bit better.
No,
But
you may
then
have been
by-
right. This may have been before what I was talking about. You may be
Yeah, it is before. It's when he's like,
Bro, I told you, right?
So, yeah.
This movie is forgettable.
no, it's just a sequence of it. But the one thing that you draw from that fight is that Neo gets a new power, which is the power of like pushing things with his incel energy. I can't say that shit. So yeah,
You
the
guys
thing.
said incel energy.
Yeah.
No, the one thing that we get from that fight is that he gets this new like telepathic power, like telepath. He can push people away with this like big bang attack, which is
It's dumb.
it's dumb. It's not that dumb, but it's kind of basic. It's like the first move you get
used
with a
to cover-
character.
It's used to cover up him being old and can't do all that.
True. That is a way to cover up. Instead of like throwing a bunch of punches, I'm just gonna push you away.
Yeah. Oh, and it's overused. But yeah. So that fight scene, yeah. And then they got back to the island.
Yeah, and
And-
then after when he gets pushed at the Rapunzel Tower, and then Morpheus shows up, he's like, "Okay, the crew's waiting for you. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna save Trinity, or are you just gonna stay here?"
Well,
And then
what if
he's
what if he was just like, I like the view here. I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, this is a pretty nice room. But the whole thing is like the crew's already gonna get court-martialed for this
Yeah,
because they're like,
and
yeah,
before that, the crew didn't even want to go back to save her. And then after they got in trouble, they're like, okay, we're gonna go save her. We don't like Jada Pinkett. Let's go back. Random thing.
yeah, exactly. They disobey the general, and they actually go back to look
So
for Trinity.
they go back into the Matrix, and he's like, so now this is when the Frenchman comes, right? Or soon before the Frenchman's
No,
coming.
I think he talks a little bit with Trinity, and and even though
And she's like, "Oh, I remember you. You're so beautiful. I
Yeah,
dream about you sometimes, and I want to kill my husband." And he's like, "What the heck?" I hate how he calls me my name, Tiffany. Tiffany's not my name. Call me Trinity. Wait, are you okay?
And then suddenly
But
he
yeah.
turns into like his eyes turn, and then he starts attacking and gets his ass handed to him.
yeah, but they have like a little. They it shows that they have a connection, like the two of them, even though they're like they've been tried to they try to separate them, but it shows that they still have a connection, you know. Uh, but yeah, after that, what happens after that shit?
So we haven't gotten to NPH yet. I don't think either because NPH is when there comes later on. So this is the fight scene with the Frenchman. I think the Frenchman and Agent Smith.
Oh yeah,
So-
I didn't like that fight at all.
Agent Smith is just lame. Look,
No, no.
it was a bad.
I
No, it's a bad acting. It was a bad choice.
I don't think that guy was as that bad. I don't think he was
No.
as good.
But the
As
problem is when you're replacing characters, even if it's supposed to be an alternate version, you can only compare them to the original character they were. Like look at Iron Man, the black sidekick. He got replaced the first movie by a better
the
black
War
sidekick.
Machine.
Now look at this. We got Hugo and Morpheus. They get replaced by Tango, Morpheus, and this guy who can't do a voice. Like he gotta at least have a very serious voice.
The thing
Like
is
Hugo
that
can
bro,
get.
he was doing the acting like he was in Mindhunter.
Yeah. Like I'm not a fan of the guy, of either of them, honestly. I
I
don't even
would
know their
say-
names.
I would say that fight, the beginning, the upper part of it, because they're fighting on like some wooden platforms.
So
I didn't.
I think one big disagreement we have on this movie, you enjoyed a lot of these fight scenes. I
don't.
didn't.
No,
Yeah.
no. I will tell you this. The thing that I found about this movie is like 30% of it, or like 40% of it, is cool. It's all right. The other percent is like filler or like not needed at all, or
Agreed.
like they could have focused on something else instead of the other. But like
This-
30% of it,
This is what
It's
Keanu Reeves
pretty cool.
does. He likes to waste our time with this stuff.
No, the thing
He's
is
a
that,
he's a filler king.
Why are you
Surprised he
hating on
wasn't in
Keanu,
One
bro?
Piece.
He didn't even do
Bro,
anything.
did you not watch the John Wick series? He literally did the same thing there too.
No, but the thing is
Filler.
that in John Wick, the fighting scenes were at least cool. Here,
Yeah, the fighting was better, but that doesn't change the fact that
Like
it was
here-
longer than it needed to be. You
Here
dragged
they
it
had
on.
too many side characters, and those characters didn't get any development. They were just there as like
Hey,
people.
hey, they didn't even
you
get
know, they were
hurt.
like Wikipedia pages. They were just there to tell you the information.
They didn't even get. They barely even got hurt.
Yeah, and their fight scenes were awful.
Yeah, except for we can give blue hair girl. She was smoothest. We
I
can give her
I
that.
think she had the best fighting scenes
Yeah,
in
because
the
she
whole
got
movie.
the Asian genes in her, so she can fight.
I don't think
Well,
you
yeah.
can say that, bro.
That whole upper part, and then the Frenchman shows up and he's like, "Sacre bleu, you got to do." And
Yeah, he I don't remember his part in the original one, but
I
he
do.
was cursing up a storm.
he's like a negotiator type of guy. He's like a black market type of guy that's going to negotiate with Neo. He's like this very fancy, pretentious Frenchman.
He's fallen since then. What'd you say?
Oh, yeah.
They look like the
Lost Boys.
Yeah, the Lost Boys.
They look like the Lost
do.
Boys from Hulk.
I could see the color, like the colors they were wearing, kind of, and the torn clothes. Yeah, I could
Let
see
me
that.
tell you something. The whole fashion sense, like the whole wardrobe theme for this movie, kind of failed miserably. Like in terms of aesthetics, The first
Look,
three movies
that
were
is a
more solid.
Keanu. That's a Keanu Reeves thing.
Bro,
okay?
why are you blaming everything on Keanu Reeves? Why does the
Who
story
else
suck? It's
might
a
have what-
Keanu Reeves thing. Why does the action
Like,
scenes are bad?
it's like y'all ain't been watching this dude ruin movies since The Matrix ended. That's what he does. He ruins movies.
I like Keanu. Keanu's
Yeah, bro,
alright.
I love Keanu. He's a great man. Like if I was dating
his
Anne Hathaway,
Beetlejuice was good, bro.
he could do whatever he wants with either of us.
He was even in that Street
Constantine,
John Wick.
Dogma.
He wasn't on Dogma.
Yeah, bro, he was on that one, the Speed.
Yeah.
With the
The one with the
chick.
speed. Remember the speed one? The speed, the bus one, bro, with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not a good movie.
it was decent enough for the time. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kios, remember how we were shitting on the Blind Side? And
I don't do that. I take doo-doos, okay?
see what happened to the actual main character. He got robbed by
Yeah,
Sandra Bullock.
that's- Bro, look, here's the thing about that. A side note, take this part out. The dude knew who they were the whole time. He didn't get robbed. They adopted him because he was good at football, which they did in the movie.
No,
And they-
no.
But they were his family.
We need to do the Blind Side a whole episode for it, specifically
No.
for a big
No.
because that movie
I
deserves
do
it.
not. No, it doesn't. What the heck?
Bro, we already
No.
did an episode on Blind Side before, and it was awful.
No, we always talk about it.
Yeah,
We always
because
go
it's
off
awful
on it.
movie. It's awful, overrated
Bro.
movie.
Wait, look,
I think it's a great movie.
the only
Probably
thing
the
worse-
best movie I've
the
ever
only thing
seen.
worse than that movie is the real life
Yes,
story.
yes. He said that probably the best movie.
A little movement of tears, all right.
Look.
Sandra Bullock, she's respected
know-
like Jesus.
The only thing worse than that movie is the real life story, okay? Because it's even more boring. Look, the
I
guy's
don't care
just
about the real
guy-
story.
the guy's stupid. He's mad because he never got his Super Bowl. He had his chance, but he couldn't protect Cam Newton, and Cam Newton got destroyed in the Super Bowl because of him. That's why he's mad. Now he's broke out the NFL, and he just wants every penny he can do because he never saves his money. Bro, and if like sports athletes 101 for the last like 15 years, they tell you save your money, don't spend it all. This dude didn't listen because he got a movie and he was happy. He's like, "I'll be rich." Your movie sucked. Shouldn't have gotten any awards.
The movie was
You
awesome.
suck.
Don't blame the movie.
The guy's just stupid. F that guy.
Okay,
Oh, we're
whatever.
not-
Let's go back.
we're-
Let's go back to the movie. We were talking we were in the scene. They're fighting the Lost Boys,
So
and
the fight. So Agent Smith shows up. So it's the Lost Boys versus the Matrix crew versus Agent Smith. And pretty much Agent Smith is attacking Neo, and he kind of has a little fight with Morpheus and beats him up because both of them are fake versions of themselves, but Morpheus is still going to get bodied by Smith. And then he goes and fights Neo, and then the Lost Boys, they fight the crew, and pretty much the crew wins, of course, but the Lost Boys, they do a good job fighting. Agent
They
Smith
don't.
and
they don't.
Well-
I did not.
well,
Okay,
they fight 2-on-1, and they still lose. Like everyone
No,
fights
they-
2-on-1, and they still lose.
it's just one of those scenes where it's like a montage of like punches flying, but you can't really grasp anything or like get focused on
Yeah.
anything. The one thing that you get to focus is when Angel Smith grabs Neo and then they go underground. I actually like that fight more than the one up top because it's like one-on-one. You can see the movement better. It's a callback to the first time where he fights the Agent Smith on the
terribly
first one.
done, but terribly done.
Right, it's a callback to that, and he has some pretty good moves, like the one he did on the wall, where he wasted a special meter doing that attack.
Yeah.
He does a couple of good moves, but the fight, I don't know.
Look, for me, none of the fights were actually memorable.
I like that one. That one I like better than the one up top. I would say that.
But, anyways, what happens? Like, Mr. Agent Smith just leaves or something? Like, because he never.
Dude, I don't remember the in between
Yeah.
the other scene.
Well, either way, the French man runs away, and then they're like, "Okay, we gotta leave," and he's like, "No, I gotta go see Trinity one more time." And they're like, "Okay."
Right.
And then we go to her motorcycle shop.
Right, and that's when Neil Patrick Harris reveals himself as to be like the real villain,
In well,
the
look, in
the
PH is just
analyst,
in
I
PH
guess.
he's just him. Okay, he's better. He's not a villain. He's just a therapist. Okay, and he
I mean,
understands. Neo
I
is losing his mind, and
and
it's
you remember? Okay, do you remember you remember where he meets the architect in the first movie?
no.
Yeah, it's the scene where like give me a second. Wait, the motorcycle pass.
Tell
Is
the
that
Okay,
driver
so
to
Trinity?
stop driving.
right. Okay, so at this point, it's again, it's kind of recreating the same beats as the first movie. So where they show Neil Patrick Harris, supposed to be the like the scene where he meets the architect, and what it's supposed to be is like this is the villain, this is the clear villain that you're gonna be fighting against, and he's gonna tell you his motivations and why he did everything. And Neil Patrick Harris starts like doing exposition of like human beings are easier to control by
Yeah,
feelings than by
and he
facts.
shows his power, like slow down time or something, whatever he called it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Or
and I would
everyone's
say
frozen, but him and Neo, and everything. Neo's moving slow.
yeah, I would say that that part doesn't have the best effects. They're not the
But
worst either, but they're
but
definitely better than Flash.
NPH
That
is the only one talking like a what you would assume a villain would talk like.
yeah, and I did enjoy his speech. Honestly, it's one of the parts
And
that it didn't bore me. You know, and I was
and
okay.
That
pretty
was the
much
only
here,
talking part that was not boring.
and pretty much here we find out Neo died, Trinity died, but the dude brought them back to life. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't explain everything, but he restored his Magnum Dong, and they covered up their private parts and put them in the chamber because they like release energy when in their sleep or whatever. So they use it to power whatever. I don't even know their city of sentience. They use their power to power everything. So pretty much Neo's been dead, but they brought him back 60 years ago. Same with Trinity, and they work well together. That's why they
No,
exist.
he explains that that by themselves they're not that important. That what makes them important and the whole thing work is that they need to be together, right?
True
So
love. I'm searching for that true love. And
and
then,
that's
and
when I
then,
said it was like Hancock, which I get because in
yeah,
Hancock they can't be together because it
yeah,
just ends everything. But
yeah,
in this case, it just ends everything bad for him, not for them. You know,
yeah.
the
Because
whole thing is
he even said every time in like their simulations, the two of them met up, something, all their stuff would be destroyed for the
exactly.
sentience. So it's just bad for the sentience, which is
Exactly. So
understandable.
he figured out that the only the in between medium that it could work is like if they're both in the same universe but they don't know each other or
Yeah.
they're like separated a little bit. Uh,
So he gave Trinity two kids and a husband who calls her Tiffany as a joke. We don't know the joke why. I don't think they ever explained why. But she hates being called Tiffany.
Yeah, because it reminds her of Tiff Street, which is a cookie shop.
Well, we love cookies, so Trinity sucks. But
and
yeah,
that's the
so Neil Patrick Harris says, "You come with me, or I'll kill Trinity." He just strands her, shoots a bullet at her, then he saves her because Neo can't because he's too slow. He's like, pretty much, you're gonna come back to me, or I'll kill Trinity, and that's the main point of the scene.
right. Yeah.
She's a hostage at this point.
Okay. What happens after that?
So then, so then they leave. They go back to their world, and he lets them know. He lets the crew know about this, and then Jada Pinkett Smith finds out, and she's like, "This is terrible." And then that giant bird comes in and takes her
Right.
to Nick Jonas's wife, and then she's like,
I,
"There's a way
I,
to
I hid
win."
things from you because I didn't know better.
Yeah, she's like, "Wait a minute, you telling me you knew Neil was alive this whole time?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, but you're crazy, so I didn't tell you till
Yeah.
now."
She should have been just honest. Look. Listen. I didn't tell you because frankly I don't like you, and honestly nobody does. Like we elected you to keep you like busy with your strawberries, so nobody would interact with you. And you smell. You have a weird smell about you. You know, I can't place it, but you
just
have a weird
just
smell.
Just because you have dreads doesn't mean you can't wash your hair. Okay, do it once. so, so pretty much, Priyanka Chopra's like the Neil Patrick Harris left open a way to get back in there, which he shouldn't have. But this is our chance to strike. So so that everyone unites now. They're gonna rescue Trinity from her little resurrection pod, bring her back, and then they're gonna take care of Neil Patrick Harris. So it's a plans comes together. Everyone's united. Like Jada Pinkett Smith's now on the side with the crew, and then the B team crew is now on their side. They're like, we're gonna die, and Jada Pinkett Smith is like, why? It's because that's why we're in this movie. Spoiler: no one dies. So they all unite, and they're gonna go rescue her now. So you got
but it has to be her choice. She has to choose to come with us. We can just grab her without her consent.
Yeah,
you know.
We want consent. Okay.
This is 2023.
We like consent. We do want consent. Okay. So we start with the final, not the final scene, but the final place, pretty much. So you can see Neo walking into where Neil Patrick Harris is. Pretty much thousands of cops around them.
Bro. Before that, there's a foreshadowing scene where there's like a girl that goes and visits Neo in his bunker, and she's like,
bro, that Trinity girl is the young Priyanka Chopra. That's not like a... Yeah, that was young Priyanka Chopra. Like young Seri.
No, that's not the one I'm talking about, though.
The little kid in the basement, Neo is
no.
The one in the white frock.
I'm talking about when the white girl goes into Neo's bunker and she's like, Trinity was my role model. I looked up to her. She was a badass.
Oh, that girl. The Jessica Henwick.
That was such a dumb scene.
No, but the point of the scene is to show a little bit of foreshadowing because
Trinity is the main hero. Neo is just
exactly. And Neo says like
we already said nobody dies, so it's kind of pointless.
No, but the point is that she said that Neo says, okay, I never thought I was the one. It was Trinity that believed in me that I was the one. So it's my turn to believe that she's the one. It was foreshadowing, but I didn't know what was gonna happen. At the end, because I was like, what? At the end, but
if you believe that Jada Pinkett Smith is the one, then she becomes the one. Because in this movie, nothing matters. You just have to believe someone is one and they become the one.
Interesting. Now that you say that, if you spell Trinity backwards, it spells O-N-E.
What?
If you spell Neo backwards, or you spell Neo, you switch the letters around, you get the one Neo.
Yeah.
So you mix around Trinity's letters. One.
In which language, bro?
Look.
Yeah, bro, not in the English language.
Look, he's Japanese.
You could have fucking. Sorry.
he loves Japanese culture. Okay, it's just a little thing he had.
You could have brought like the Holy Trinity, like that was the start of the world.
Right.
And
the only holy thing about this movie
that just symbolizes that Trinity is the one. She's the mother. She's the female Jesus Christ. She's the female God. Female angel.
She's the holy digital spirit as well.
So he goes to NPH in this little, like a club or it's like a Starbucks type place, but like for hippies, surrounded by cops, and he's like, "Look, we're gonna make a deal. Trinity will decide. If Trinity wants to come with me, that means me and her are leaving. If Trinity wants to stay here, that means you can have me." And Neil Patrick Harris is like, "Even though I'm the villain and I spent my whole life working on this, that sounds fair to me." So he agrees. Then the crew comes in, and everyone's just waiting for Trinity to show up. On the side point, they're going to rescue Trinity from her resurrection pod. So the Morpheus, he's like jumping with his dong out, jumping through barriers, going through sewers. He gets there. The bird comes in, and they start hacking her pod. And Priyanka Chopra is breaking it apart. And the blue-haired chick, she's coming in to plug into the place so they don't know that they already took her body out.
Yeah, the whole plan was very convoluted. This movie has a bunch of like sci-fi mumbo jumbo
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, the pods in here are sterilizing our SC3 contents, and you're like, what does
You know, if these are
what does any of that mean?
if
But you don't
these
care. You
if
don't
their
care. You don't.
pods if their pods are so important, wouldn't they have security around them? Like I know they say they power stuff in there for the sentients, but literally nobody was watching those pods. Nobody.
Like, when they came up with a plan, like, okay, I understand the plan, but I don't understand how it makes sense because you haven't explained anything. And I'm
Yeah.
glad they didn't explain everything because this
This
movie
would have
would
been
have been
a
longer. Yeah.
4 hours long.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Before we care about pods, let me give you a tutorial about how pods work. Like, where's your boy? No. Okay, bro, whatever.
in 2037 they invented the first pod. It was fantastic. Well, yeah, so they're working on getting her out, and then Trinity walks into the pub in the Matrix, and pretty much her and Neo are talking. And here's the thing: Trinity doesn't acknowledge anybody in the room except for Neo. There's literally like hundreds of cops in there, agents. The whole crew is there, and she's like, "Oh, Neo, it's just me and you in this nice little pub at night." Like Neil Patrick Harris is over there looking at them. He's wondering what's happening.
Right.
So
There's a
she doesn't
bunch of
acknowledge
extras
them.
there. There's a bunch of extras that shouldn't be there. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, she has an eyesight for Neo.
So pretty much they're talking, and she's gonna leave, and then all the police get up, and they grab Neo. She doesn't acknowledge it, and they're about to and then the Black Morpheus on the ship with the beard, he's about to unplug Neo, but this is he's the most useless person. Like it takes 2 seconds to unplug him. He's just moving in slow motion. He's thinking about it.
Bro, how can you say that where he's arguably the most useful person out of everything? He's the one that connects everybody.
Because he's afraid to plug in. That's why. They could have got Jada Pinkett Smith to do it.
No, it's the same thing as the first movie where they wait until the last second to remove him out of the plug.
Well, it worked out here, but look, he's being surrounded by agents, and then at the last second, Trinity turns around, and then Neo looks at her, and he's like, Trinity. Oh no! And then her family comes in while they're talking, actually. Yeah. And the kids are like, someone got ran over by a car and broke her arm, and the husband's like, come with me, Tiffany, I love you. And then she's taken away, and then the guy's about to unplug her, and then she stops, and she's like, get your damn dirty ape hands off me. My name isn't Tiffany. It's Trinity. And then he gets his bot eyes, and she knocks him out, and the kids disappear. And then Neil Patrick Harris is like, oh no. The black guy with the beard is like, oh, what's happening?
At that point, she realized, wait a minute. If my husband is an NPC, that means that my kids are NPC. No. I'm gonna go with Keanu, and then that's why she decides to go back to him.
So they're fighting. They all they're fighting there. All the people on the crew, they're fighting. Pretty much, Neil Patrick Harris. He sees the cat, Deja Vu. He's trying to get the kitty cat, but the cat's like, ew, don't touch me, bro.
That whole scene is such a mess that I can't believe our director actually would agree to do that. He's like, okay,
it's Keanu.
We're shooting the scene inside the cafe or whatever. Bring in the 200 extras. And cram them all in there. Cram them all. Are they all in there? Okay, let's shoot this thing. Dude, how are you going to make a scene with those many people there just fumbling over each other?
And here's the thing. All those agents have guns. Not one person on the good side gets shot.
Bro, they're literally all next to each other, too. They're all crammed in there.
It's crazy. So
it's a horrible scene. They did such a bad job with the mobs in this freaking movie. It's unbelievable how bad it is.
The next mob is even worse as they leave the store. So pretty much there's hundreds of agents outside. Every single person in the town who's living their normal life, half of them are becoming agents and just jumping out of buildings stupidly just to try to.
Oh, I did like that part. He's like, okay, I'm gonna activate everybody as a bot, and they're gonna be like,
they showed
bombs.
They show this couple. They're sleeping. The guy and his wife. He's cuddling her, And then he stands up, and the wife's like, "What's going on, baby?" He looks back at her. His eyes are the Matrix color, the green and black. He just jumps out the window, splat. Doesn't even hit any car. He just splats. Then everyone starts doing it. Like, bro, these people got to go back to their normal lives. They didn't delete the Matrix. They got to go back to living here. Like when
I wonder what
all this
happens to those people though. Are those people actually dead, or they just get replaced with another copy?
I mean, I'm guessing propaganda. Neo killed everybody. But who knows? Maybe we'll find out in the Matrix Resurrection 2.
Which is never coming out.
Hopefully. So they all get in cars and they're running away. Go ahead.
There is no Matrix ever going to come out after this.
We thought that after 3.
Yeah, I thought that after 1. After the first one. I'm like, okay, this is a cool movie. Why are they gotta make a second one? Okay.
Hopefully
yeah,
no more. But,
they start like the whole scene. Actually, okay, I would say, at least for me personally, I did like the outside scene in the motorcycle way more than like the cafe one where everybody's all crammed in there.
So the crew gets in the car and Trinity gets on a motorcycle and Neo gets into the pregnant female dog seat, and he's using his power of barriers to stop bullets and like they're firing missiles, explosions. And they're driving somewhere. I don't. They're being led somewhere, pretty much by all the people. Eventually, the main crew, their car gets stuck, and like hundreds of the bots are attacking them. They don't do anything. They like pull on the girl's face and pinch her, and she's like crying. And then the blue-haired chick eventually gets in when she unplugs.
I did not know that, but the director became a girl for Matrix.
Yeah, they started out as guys. They started the Wachowski brothers or whatever. They ended up as the sisters.
Yeah, it's Lily Wachowski.
What?
Yeah, they did. They transitioned.
Yeah, the transition.
Hey, yeah, that's cool, man. I still don't care though.
I was not relevant to the plot, Ash. I was
What am I gonna do?
plot that we were talking about, bro.
Yeah, they transitioned, but they didn't transition the story to make it modern. They like transitioned the story,
Bro,
not even to make it modern.
That's why Neo, like the one changed from Neo to Trinity. It shows their transition.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we still haven't got in there. We're almost about to get there.
So,
Okay.
so the crew in the car gets saved somehow. Like 50, 100 of those bots all get shot dead by Morpheus and blue-haired girl, and everyone's alive. And then the Trinity and Neo are getting led to a tower. They're being cornered, so they go inside the building, and they go into the stairway. And you know what Neo does? He knocks the door handle off, and then they run up the stairs. And I'm like, bro, the door opens from the other side. What's the point of knocking the door handle off?
That's true. That was
And later on, when the bots come in, they open the door. Well, whatever. They're on the roof. A helicopter appears. They fire a missile.
Yeah, now they're recreating way that rooftop scene with the helicopter.
So he uses his barrier, blocks it, and then another helicopter appears. So one of them fires another missile, and then he uses his power to move the missile to the other helicopter. It blows up, and they go flying back.
Yeah.
And then
that's when Trinity wakes up and she sees the sun and she's like,
so
I live for this shit. Bring it on!
So she's been unplugged from her resurrection pod, and the other girl's in there, and now she's in the bird. And she's like, yeah. So they fight all the people. She looks up they're on the roof. She sees like a sunset or sunrise. And she's like, this is beautiful, Neo. I don't even remember my kids or my husband. And then pretty much all the backup comes up on there. And instead of shooting at them, they just watch as they jump off. And this is the point where you think Neo's finally gonna fly. No. They just stop in midair. And you find out, oh, Neo's hanging on to Trinity's arm because she's the one floating. She looks like she's hanging onto a rope, but she's floating. and the helicopter's shocked. He's like, "Oh my gosh!" And then they fly away to.
Oh no, the guys in the helicopter was like, "Oh my God, yes, Queen, slay." That really changed the tone of the movie. Of like, what? So she's the one now. She's the one that can fly. And also, let's not forget. Okay, in the first movie, jumping off buildings was not a big deal. Everybody could do it. The agents, Morpheus, Trinity could do it, no sweat before. All right, none of them can jump off buildings now. They're like old gamers that went to like the same game and they don't know how to play it anymore. You know what I mean? Except that Trinity is better. She's a better gamer than Neo. You know.
She works on motorcycles. She understands things.
Exactly. Yeah. So they go for the jump, and then she's the one that actually gets to fly. So dude, like, this is not weird. So just because she gets to fly, she's the one. Is that the requirement?
Remember, NPH said it best. They're both out with each other. They're both the one, pretty much.
He was hanging over like a beta male. I don't know about that one, bro.
Look, he's a strong man. He's a strong man trusting his woman, and she protected him. So they fly to NPH's house, and pretty much they beat him up.
She beat him up. He was just there.
Yeah. And Keanu was holding the cat. And he was like, "You get him, girl. He deserved that."
He's like, "Can you control her?" And he was, and then she slit his throat and then was like, "You deserved it."
Yeah, I remember at one part he was like, "Women were so easy to control." He said that earlier in the movie, but women were so easy to use back in the day.
Listen, I'm going to give you my opinion on that. I'd have nothing against that kind of message. Girl power message, women empowerment. I really have nothing against it. The thing is, it just felt like a different tone. And it felt like it was shoehorned at the end as like this message. Yeah. That's what it feels off. It's not that the message itself is bad. It's that they didn't prep up for it. You know what I mean? It was such like, all of a sudden, she's the one. But one thing that I liked about it is if you look at the original Matrix, Neo is not the first one that has happened. He's not the first anomaly. He's one of many, right? So it is cool that this next version, it's Trinity. It's a female version instead of like a male version, and she's the one now. So I do like that. But
at the same time, the next scene, you literally see them both flying. So they're both the one. It's not. Or
maybe she's just carrying him like a beta. Did you ever think about that?
How is he a beta? He supports his woman. She's doing great work. And he's there to support it.
He totally switched to beta energy. You could just feel it. He's standing there in the doorway with a cat, like, go on, honey.
In this whole movie, did he have any combat ability? No. No. So this was him the whole movie.
Yeah, he was a loser from the beginning. From the beginning of the movie.
I mean,
that's
technically,
true.
this movie could be without him, and nobody would care. His role was just there.
You gotta have Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah, that's right. That's all. But otherwise, all the problems could be solved without Neo.
That's right. Yeah. Like this movie wasn't necessary except for the after credit scene, which brought in.
Oh my God, don't, bro.
Needs to happen. Cat videos. We need more cat videos in the world.
Cat tricks.
We should call it the cat tricks. Like, dude, come on. To end the movie, they say to the analyst, okay, like, dude, okay, now we're gonna rebuild this world. Bye, and they just fly off.
And he was like, "You're gonna put rainbows in the sky," and he's like, "Our imagination's strong enough. We can show people what imagination can do if we put rainbows in the sky."
Yeah, you bet your ass, we're gonna represent that. So yeah, that's how it ends. The movie.
The problem is everything in that world isn't real. They're bots.
That's a flimsy ending.
It's dumb. The movie was pointless. It was a dumb ending.
This movie never has to be made. It never needed Keanu.
Yeah.
It never needed any of the characters to be back. It never even needed Jada Smith. I don't even know what she did in the movie other than talk and waste time, but she did it.
I get why they brought Trinity back. I get why they brought Neo back. I don't get why they didn't bring Morpheus back.
Yeah.
I don't get why they didn't bring Hugo back.
And no, the thing is
because those
also
actors
that
probably
all
refuse
the
to come
talking,
back.
all the talking and talking, like so much talk in
Bro,
this movie, and none of that makes sense. And that one girl, the one with the blue hair, she just talked the same every time. She had just,
no, she didn't even have blue hair. She was fake blue hair.
yeah, like she was. Like she was shooting an ASMR video rather than playing a character in the movie.
But she was also like the chosen one. Remember, she's the only one who could connect to the pod.
Yeah, everybody got
But
small little role.
speaking,
Like
speaking of,
that black dude got a role to watch everything and give reaction to it and be like, oh, what is going to happen? Oh my god.
so what's the name of the guy who played Morpheus in the first movie? Because wasn't he in?
Lawrence Fishburne, I
He
think,
was
or
in
something
John
like
Wick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
that.
So clearly he's riding Keanu's coattails. Let's be honest here.
Come on, bro. Just because
So
they appear
they
in a couple
obviously
movies
Nah,
they
nah,
didn't
nah.
together.
He
they
was
didn't
in
want him
Hannibal
back.
show and he was pretty good.
Oh, that guy's
They,
a good actor. He's a good actor, Lawrence Fishburne.
they didn't want him back, but that makes
No,
no
they
sense. Why
sent him the script. They sent him the script, and he kept sending it back. He's like, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh,
Have you seen this No Morpheus? I don't want to be that guy.
I'm not wearing an orange jumpsuit. What?
I'm not wearing an orange suit. That's just a no for me. And then they asked Hugo, and Hugo was like, "Are you kidding me? Get that shit out of my face. Burn that script. Don't you? How dare you? After I did B for Vendetta, I'm above all of you. Okay, so don't send me that shit. Send me quality stuff.
Hey, Hugo is better than everyone in this movie from the beginning.
Hell yeah.
But I'd say this movie was pointless. I didn't enjoy it the first time. I didn't enjoy it this time. It's not for me. Like I said, I didn't like the recasting. It's tough to do. They tried to make it make sense in the story, but it just wasn't good recasting. And the new cast was just like you said. They talked and they didn't say nothing. Like it was pointless.
Yeah,
And
I would say. I
Neil
would
Patrick
say.
Harris was great though.
No,
Like,
I would say.
he
Yeah.
got sunned. Like they made
Let's-
him into a little kid.
Yeah, okay. I would say about the performances, I thought Keanu was just there. At some points in the movie, he was so bad, I flat out laughed how bad the acting from his side was. But I kind of liked that, actually. That was so bad that it made me laugh.
So,
Aside
like,
from him,
I think you did say the original movie they acted the same way.
they did.
It's
If you
very
go
si-
back to
but-
the original movies, Neo is a dumbass. All he
I
does is
agree.
ask questions.
He's a DA, but there's something about the original where it made it okay. This one, it's a combination of the terrible story and him being dumb. That just didn't work.
Okay, and the new agent Smith, even though this guy is not as good as Hugo, I did like him in some scenes. I thought his fighting was pretty cool too. He's not the best. All right, okay. Morpheus, he was funny. I guess he's just like he's such a nun. His attitude is like so like lighthearted. It's not so. The old Morpheus was so serious. Everything was a prophecy. I'm meeting you here was a prophecy. This guy is not. It's not about that.
He had martinis at one point, didn't he?
Yeah, he was chill. All right. The blue-haired girl, even though she didn't have much depth as a character, I did like how she was like she kept comforting Neo and just guiding him back to being his own Neo self. She was patient. She was like, "Okay, bro, you got this. I believe in you." I kind of like that. But her dialogue wasn't.
She guided him back to being
That-
dumb, Neo.
To be the chosen one,
Bro, he's not even the chosen one.
bro. No, he chose the one.
yeah, he is a chosen one because his queen chose him. Okay.
Yeah, and the Trinity character I thought was all right. Nothing too special. The Neil Patrick had he was the best character I think in this whole movie.
Like it's villain 101. You don't bring back your heroes. Like they
Yeah,
made
that's
him,
kinda
they made
stupid.
they made him stupid, and then he got beat so badly, and they didn't even destroy him, did they? They just let him live.
Yeah, because you can kind of tell this movie is supposed to have a sequel, or it's gonna be another trilogy. you can kind of tell they had that intentions for it, but it just
Well,
didn't work out.
what about you, Ash? What'd you think?
I did not like it at all. At a time I was just trying to fight my sleep at times because it was so boring. I
So
was so
what?
done with it. So much talking didn't even make sense. But they were
And
talking.
talk. And here's the thing: if it's good talking, it's great.
But this is
This
not a good
talking wasn't
This
good.
is like listening to a lecture. I did not. Even the fight scenes were not worth it.
So
I don't know
before-
why they did it. It was like a quick cash grab, but
that's Keanu. That's what he does. He just
Bro,
loves
it's-
money.
yeah, okay, you can blame Keanu, but at the end of the day, my God, man, I just felt so dead after
Before-
this movie. It's like all my energy was drained out and put in a dustbin.
Before we give our ratings, do you want a sequel?
Absolutely not, bro. Just
I'll give my final rating for this out of 10. I'm a solid 5.3.
I'll give it a 5.1 or a 5.15 or a 5. No, you know what? I'll give it a 4.95.
Okay, Rock.
You know what? It's weird. This is a weird one for me because I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. But like I said, I wouldn't mind watching a sequel out of it because maybe they could do it better.
There's tons of bad movies that I give terrible ratings to that I would like to watch another movie.
This is not one of them.
Yeah,
This is
I feel that
terrible,
way
but
about
in-
this movie.
Yeah,
This is terrible,
not
but
one of
it's
them.
in its completeness. Like it's completely terrible. It's
Like,
awful.
Dude, honestly,
But you're also a Matrix fan, so that's different for you.
I was for a little while. I would say that for a while I was a Matrix fan, but I would say honestly, this movie has that whole thing about not handling the mob and having too many extras. It's such a big flaw in the movie that I can't give it like even a 5. It's like, bro, this is like amateur work. Like, bro, you should know like how to coordinate this kind of scenes or like even the wardrobe. Like, dude, come on, get better wardrobe. Like, they fumble the ball in like a lot of places. It's like I said, it seems like a B movie, not like a, you know what I mean?
This is
In a
like
lot.
a straight to DVD movie.